Your next step will be defining value propositions. Value propositions are the needs that you're fulfilling. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm an author. How am I fulfilling needs? Well, you've identified your primary reader, and you've also identified outlying segments. Why are they reading your book? If you don't give them any value, they're not going to pick it up. What value does your title have? If you're a nonfiction author, let's be honest, this section is really easy. You've written a book about 401ks. You've written a book about getting into college. You've written a book about being a mom. You've written a book about fixing cars or power tools or even a cookbook. The value in those is really clear to understand. If you're a fiction author, it might be a little more challenging, but believe me, you have value. Judy Blume, for example, wrote books for young females because she didn't see anything on the market that addressed puberty for young girls. R.L. Stine wrote about the monsters that scared him, hoping somebody else would also fall into his creepy world. E.L. James wrote a fantasy that ended up serving both men and women's sexual fantasies and made her one of the first authors to ever crack $1 billion. Clifford the Big Red Dog was written to address moral dilemmas and growing through challenges for tiny children. When you recognize your value propositions, you will recognize the main themes in your book. Now, what you need to do is take your value propositions and look at your customer segments. You should be able to make a direct correlation between specific segments and specific values. As you're working through this activity and building your business plan, you should start to notice that specific pieces link together, and that's what should happen. You should be noticing links and correlations between different pieces, and that will help you plan and figure out how to make those work and to bring your financial resources back to you. All right, happy writers, at this stage of your business plan, we're talking about your primary value proposition. I really hope that you've enjoyed the module that helps you decide what value you have to offer to your audience. Even as a fiction writer, you have a value, and it's important that you notice that. Go ahead and write down your primary value proposition and follow that by your potential value propositions. Finally, if you can identify secondary value propositions or other things that you have to offer that the audience might not notice immediately, put those down under your secondary value propositions. They matter as well, and they're going to help you build your platform.